we change the rules all the time. People get mad, talk shit about the server, and then leave. Blah blah blah. So.
Okay, my answer for that one is we are still a new server. We're still trying to find our exact niche, and I noticed the more and more people joined in, the more we kept changing the rules.
Can I interrupt you real quick, Amp? That said person that we took off the Discord, they just logged into the server. What do you want me to do about them?
They're in the server?
Yeah, they're in the server right now. They were a previous mod.
Restart the servers immediately. That's the way to do it.
No, not an admin.
Oh, not an admin?
Not an admin.
So somebody we banned is now inside the server?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
no, they were banned from the Discord.
Oh, if they're banned from the Discord, then kick them out of the server as well.
Do you want us to ban them from the server?
Because I'm looking at them right now.
Who is it?
Creamy.
Yeah, get them out of here. They're the one that started a lot of this problem. And
You want me to ban them on the second server too?
Yes, both of them. And I'm going to explain to the community why we're doing this. Okay, so Creamy was a red mod. And instead of privately messaging a blue admin in private, so it's, hey, you shouldn't be really talking about server suggestions in the server suggestion, you should take it to server discussion, because, you know, sometimes people make mistakes and, you know, they have conversation where they shouldn't. So instead of just DMing him and saying that, Creamy was kind of cocky in general. So I came at Creamy, I said, Creamy, what color are you? And she said red, or him or her, I don't even know what they are. But they said red, and I said, okay. Basically, you're not going to chew out a blue admin in front of everybody on the general chat. They took it the wrong way and waited 10 or 15 minutes and then started ranting and raving, saying, well, if I'm going to be demoted, which was never even mentioned and wasn't even on my mind, decided to start a big problem and caused a bunch of people to leave because they threw a fit. So that's what's with that situation. All it was a correction of them stepping out of line, stepping over power, and that's it. So, but the thing is with the whole rule thing is everybody liked the server at first, and then a bunch of people started joining in saying, add this rule, add that rule, and we started adding rules, then made other people mad. It started stressing out the admins to the point where the admins were divided, and I finally decided to come back in and say, okay, enough's enough. I'm tired of all the fighting and overruling in the server. So I'm taking this back to the way the server used to be, where majority of the people have fun, and that's why we have basic rules here. It's common sense rules. When I say don't die in the water, can anybody give me a reason why you should die in the water?
You should die or shouldn't die?
Juvie drowning itself.
No reason to die in the water.
Exactly. No reason. So therefore the rule says do not die in the water. Well, all the rules did that she made for the website was just go in super duper detail. We really haven't changed any of the rules. It's rules for dummies, guys. That's basically what I broke things down for. People got so freaked out about all the rules in the server, they're like, all these freaking rules. But if people actually read the rules, they were just repetitive. For the people that tried to make excuses. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Well, the rule didn't specify that I couldn't die in the water after I was bitten. Well, common sense says, the rule says do not die in the water, which means do not die in the water. The reason for us making that rule is because I got tired of players biting another player, and then in return, they would get bit and then run back into the water for safety and dying and depriving that person of the food that was hunting them. That's not fair, is it?
No.
Nope.
Okay, so that's why we did the things we did. The reason why the rules change a lot is because we're one of those few servers that actually listens to the community and tries to do things that, you know, hey, the community thinks that this is a good rule, let's try it. You know what I mean? That's what we were doing. The problem was it started getting out of hand that no matter what we were doing, we were always getting complaints. So in order to stop complaints, sometimes I have to force my own hand and take the blame for it, but I have to do what I think is best. And the way I looked at it was, we have too many rules. My admins are busting their asses. They're going insane and they're quitting on me because it's just too crazy. They're hating each other and fighting over each other, and the community's still complaining about the rules. So I was like, what am I going to do? Well, I'm gonna ease the load off of my admins so they start becoming happier. They can play the game. They can enjoy things with the community as well. And then the community don't have to worry about reading a shit ton of rules and worrying about getting themselves in trouble over stupid stuff. Okay?
Okay.
So that's why I took the rules back to the old school to where it's basic rules, basic few rules. You guys get on the game, you have fun. It's a survival game. You're gonna die. Try not to die. That's the fun thing of the game. Try not to die. If you die and somebody killed you breaking a rule, make sure you have evidence, because I will not punish anybody without evidence. We live in a world where people love to lie. I don't want to punish people for things they do not do. Unfortunately, if you can't get evidence and you were done wrong and nobody knows, unfortunately, I apologize now. I'm sorry that happened to you, but we can't do anything about it without evidence, because I just can't. You know what I mean? This is going to eliminate a lot of reports. This is going to eliminate a lot of stress. You are in a survival dinosaur game. You don't want to die, you better freaking hide. Okay? I mean, I love everybody here. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad all you guys do play here. I'm just tired of the stress. I'm tired of people leaving. I'm tired of people hating on us. I'm changing this. This game's supposed to be fun, guys. Fun. And too many rules makes it not fun. So
I appreciate the basic rules, because too many people who aren't admins and who aren't you try to make up their own rules about stuff that you can and can't do, and it's just like,
well, if you
who
catch,
do I even listen to?
That's the thing we were having problems with. Too many people, because some of the admins don't make it to meetings. Not every going on. And guys, running a server is not easy. It is by far not easy. Not even close. Especially when you work a full-time real job and then you come home and then your first thing you do is get on Discord and try to figure out all the donations I get, dealing with the life points people, and then I got to then try to figure out if I can have time to stream before bedtime. You know what I mean? It's a lot of work for just me. That's why I appointed admins. Sometimes there's going to be mistakes made. Okay, people make mistakes.
Are admins like on board with you or no?
Oh yeah, well
We
the
are
ones
on
that
board
aren't
with
on board
this.
with me have already left.
No. I'm saying like, are you trying to get like more admins? Like, are you trying to hire more admins?
Oh, we will be, because I had a couple leave today because they just don't like the fact that I've turned into a little bit of a dick. I'm not trying to be, guys, but I just get tired of hearing the same things over and over. This person hates that person. This person's causing a problem. So I decided to make a dictatorish move and say, well, I don't care. We're going back to the old rules where everybody was happier. Not everybody. I didn't say everybody was happy, like the happiest, but everybody was okay. Everybody was happiest. We had less rules. And then we got a few group of people that came into our server and started complaining. So us being friendly and kind tried to
accommodate,
make everybody happy. And when you do that, you just make more people upset. All the rules are changing. And it's like, that's why we had so much. Yeah, exactly. That's why we've had so many issues, guys. We try to accommodate for everybody, and it's just, I apologize to you guys for doing that, because that's not fair to try to accommodate for everybody. Technically, me running the server, me and the admins basically need to sit down, make the rules, and say this is it. If you don't like it, yeah, you can go play in another server, but I guarantee you'll be back, because other communities don't give people the time of day to talk to them or try to, you know, make fun gameplay for them. And I even made a wrong ruling today, and 123 will tell you. I had a misunderstanding of something that happened today, and I demoted him, and I told him why, and then I found out that I was in the wrong, and what did I do, 123?
You corrected it.
I corrected it, and I even admitted my faults, and that's what we're to do here. People make mistakes. We're humans, guys. Nobody's perfect. This is not ever going to be a perfect server. No server's going to be perfect.
You
guys want
everybody happy, Amp.
You're right.
Well, if you make rules that makes everybody happy, all you're gonna do in the game is just stand there and look at somebody and go, "What's up?"
People complain about that.
That's all you're gonna be able to do.
Come on, guys.
What's up?
We're playing a dinosaur survival walking simulator. Okay, so I mean.
I have a question. How can we make events more fun for people? What kind of events do people want to see? Because, for example, what we have as a suggestion right now is like a fighting workshop on server 2 to help people learn how to fight better.
I can tell you right now what people want to see, because I did event/non-event while I was home, where I made twins a peace zone temporarily. I popped in as a Q and had a dino deathmatch with anybody that wanted to fight me. And you'd be surprised, you can ask Raw, I think we teleported like 40 people to twins, because they all wanted to watch the fight.
Yeah.
If I may, I mean, I think fight clubs would be good, but like you just have to plan them. Like, don't just night fight club and then just like you gotta kind of plan it ahead, because if you draw out a fight club, it will be too boring waiting, and if you don't make it, I guess, quick enough, it'll just be boring to watch.
So did I want to ask for feedback about the event we had yesterday. People enjoyed.
Well, hold on. We're getting way off track here. I was asking questions, and now we're jumping over to something else. We're discussing rules right at the moment. We can get to the.
Okay.
If people want to stick around after that, we'll get to that. I'm not trying to cut you off and be rude. I just want.
No, that's my fault.
The most important thing we're going to worry about: the events or bonuses. Okay, so the rules, guys. Is there any out of the basic rules you guys see? I'm breaking them down for you all for your ears to hear right now. Basic rules is if you're a full-grown dinosaur or any dinosaur, you shouldn't KFS. If you're hungry, you kill somebody for food, that's fine. You obviously you're not going to kill people for just to be a douchebag. I don't want that here because that's every other server's like that. I don't want no KFS. Second one, don't die in the water. If you've been bitten, well, face your fears, man. Either run and hide somewhere. If you decide to come out of the water and you've been bitten, don't go back into the water. That's not fair. Same thing with raptors. If they've been bitten, they're not allowed to jump back on the rocks. They got to either run away or stand and fight, because it's just, to me, it's not fair that's allowed to happen. So that's the second main rule. And the other one is follow pack limits. You know, it's basically common sense stuff. You already know that if a pack limit allows 2 full-grown trikes and maybe 2 babies, this is just an example. Does that mean that 2 families can herd together? They can be by each other in a herd, but do you think when a Rex comes to fight that they all should be allowed to band together and fight the one Rex?
I feel like this, as somebody who's plays both carnivore and herb, if the carnivore's coming at you and you don't know which one they're coming at, everybody should be on defensive until it is made clear who they're going at, especially if they're near your nest.
I agree with you.
But the second you say, okay, they're not coming after us, and you back off.
Yeah, I agree, and I think I just, that's why we tell the herbivores, if you herd together, that's fine, but if you're not the same exact dinosaur, you gotta break off a little bit. You guys, can't have piles of dinosaurs just chilling with each other, because like, well, if they come and attack you, I'm gonna stand up and defend you, even though I'm not allowed. I'll just say they were by me.
Yeah.
We know that happens here, and that's what we don't want that.
Good
on
idea.
that note, Amp, I know you're working on the rules, but just to point it out to you, because all of us know it, but new people might not. Under your first rule and your 5th rule, they kind of imply that Herbies can fight and defend, can defend others of their species even if they're not in their family group. Because the first rule states that you are allowed to defend yourself / your own species. It doesn't classify your family group specifically. And then the 5th rule says herbivores may mix herd, but they must follow herd limits. Herbivores are not allowed to protect outside their species, which also doesn't clarify outside their family group, not just their species.
Now that's a good fix. You brought that to my attention. I will fix that. It says yourself / pack. Or should I do family or pack?
Family for Herbies and pack for Connies.
Yeah.
So a quick question about that. When you're doing a family, does you have to be in the group together? Because I've noticed that some people will like hang around and not be in a group.
Okay, to clarify this up, your family group, which would be the in-game group on your character sheet, that is the pack limit. Like right there, that if you go past the pack limit in the group on the character sheet, then you are overpacking. And the only ones that you are to protect are of your same species are the ones that are on your character sheet group. That is your family and your pack.
Okay, and if your group is bigger than that, can you technically speaking have like split your group up to be a certain paces apart but still be in a group, or is that against the rules?
No.
That's another thing I want to clarify, because I've seen people have like groups of trikes that are like maybe.
We've tried getting on to people about that. If you're at your limit, you need to leave group. Whoever is the alpha. Okay, so let me tell you a cool little feature that the character sheets have for groups. If you are the person that started the group, you are the group alpha, according to the in-game. You have the right and the power to kick someone out of your group. The reason we want people to be out of the group is we've had issues where people will be like, oh, I see these people on the other side of the map, and they're talking in group chat, I see they have food, let's go pretend try to steal their food away. You know what I mean? For
That's
carnivores,
what I was trying
for example.
to clarify. I don't know if we need to make like a rule about that or something, because I've seen that happen too. I had that happen to me actually. I was targeted by somebody who was doing that. So like it's really frustrating when it happens to you.
I don't think we should make a rule because that's how we slipped the first time. We made rules for everything, and it ended up not being fun. What we require, because we can't always catch everything. Either bring it to light, tell it to us, or take action. By take action, I mean, let's say you're the group leader of trikes, and there is a trike that is either causing issues or not wanting to leave the group. If you're the leader, kick him out.
Onyx had a question about this means Herbies cannot bodyguard. So basically, this rule that you're talking about, bodyguard, Onyx, is you can protect an injured pack mate, but however, if your pack mate dies, you must leave the body for the carnivores to eat, because it's like, why would you be guarding a dead body? The carnivores hunting for food so they don't die.
Amp,
So
I think you might be referring to that as, since it says herd member, not family group member. That is another rule that conflicts with the two I was talking about.
I was saying that herd needs removed from that rule because it's saying that basically you can protect a herd member even if they're not in your species.
Ah, gotcha. Follow pack. Herd limit. Okay, that one.
See, and this is why we're having this meeting. But the thing is, I will say this. After this meeting, we do not want complaints of people saying, well, this wasn't changed, or this doesn't make sense, or this needs to be changed. This is your one time. If we will take into, I'm not saying we're not going to take player input. We will keep player input, but this is your biggest chance, like your guys are doing right now, to tell us what might need to be changed. Otherwise, it might come off as, oh, we had our chance, but we got an inch and we're going to take a mile. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I'm sorry. I have one small question. I need a little bit of clarification here.
Go ahead. You don't
Now,
need to apologize.
Shants and murder turkeys are not allowed to initiate an attack. Okay? But if I see a T-Rex crouched and getting ready to run at me, I'm going to attack before it attacks me. Because if I get bit once, I'm dead as a murder turkey.
Wait, I have a question. Who told you that you're not allowed to attack? Any herbivore is allowed to attack first. Let's just blow that out of the water.
I think they're getting confused because in the old rules it said Shants and Theries couldn't attack.
No, there's a rule right
It is
now.
still in the
Only
rules right
herbivore
now.
species that cannot
Because
initiate
we're
attack are Theries.
Well,
and
here's the
Shants.
thing. Obviously, this is where the whole common sense thing falls on. If you see a dinosaur crouched and staring at you, and it's like a Rex is doing that to you, obviously it's got something on its mind. And we know that.
Dinner.
Attacking them ain't gonna get you in trouble. What we're talking about is a pack of raptors or somebody just walking past your area. People have been known to just dart at them just so they can kill something.
Okay.
Which falls under KFS. Killing for sport.
Yes. There could also be a gray area in that, as if a Rex or a Giga is in ambush in the trees and the herd is all really close to each other. And now, say he doesn't want to go after the Shant, he wants to go after a subtrike or something over there, but instead the Shant is in between him and the subtrike. So
Then he
now the
needs to go
Shant can
around.
initiate the attack.
Yeah, I feel like that's like another thing on
You
that.
guys are starting to see what we're dealing with here now, though.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I totally
Okay.
agree.
I would like
So
to say
that's why we said. That's why Amp said, don't
Spread out.
bundle on top of each other.
Yes.
Spread out, because that's the issue. Like you just brought up, because we've had that issue a bunch of times when we've tried telling people.
But at the
Spread
same
out.
time, that carnivore should be smart enough to also know, well, there's a Shant there. If I attack that, I take the chance the Shant I might be too close to it, and it may attack me back. See, I'm not here to. All players need to use. Obviously, it's a survival game. If people aren't smart enough to know how to hunt or defend, then obviously it's called survival. That means you're not strong enough to survive, and you have to restart.
If I may add to that, Amp, if that's going to be the case, then we have to talk about how Shants will literally circle. One, I think there should be an apex limit on herds, but two, Shants will circle the entire group, and if you try to move, they move. So in that case, they could just be like, "Oh well, he's clearly looking at me," and then charge you.
Here's the thing, Daza. Call one of us over.
Okay. Well, I mean that's not always sometimes something we can do. It just but.
Understandable.
I understand.
And if something happens, reports.
If somebody is a Rex and they go after the herd, and I think even if I don't know, see that's why we want the whole people to space out. But if it's boiling down to the main one. If the Rex I think is gonna attack a herd, then you're taking the chance of getting trampled or killed by something. I mean, if I'm a Rex, I'm not going right into a herd.
But some Rexes,
Nope.
well, in
Usually
that case,
they'll pick off the stragglers.
I mean, in that case, but you can't force someone to pick off the stragglers. If we want to go for the dude in the middle, we should be able to go for the dude in the middle, or put an
That's
apex.
a risk you take.
That's where the common
that's your
sense comes
risk.
in.
But
Exactly.
But the thing is, okay, but if that's the case, you might as well make it that Herbies can defend each other. Make it so there's an apex limit, so there's not an entire herd of Shants, and then make it so all Herbies can defend each other.
The only problem with that is if there's a juvenile trike that walks off to go eat, and then you got a bunch of theories and stuff together that will wreck you in a heartbeat, and you go after that trike, and then they come darting across the field to come after you, then you're going to be like, okay, this sucks now.
Well, I actually have something kind of sort of.
That's why we have you can only defend your family, you know.
Most of the herds that you see nowadays consist of either Shants, Theories, or Tracks. There's hardly any mid-tier at all. Generally because a pack of Rexes or a couple Gigas or a pack of something can just show up and be like, okay, we want them. 9 times out of 10, they're obviously going to choose the mid-tier dinos. And this is coming from a 100% carnivore player. A lot of people are probably about to get pissed off. Me and Kara actually kind of came up with an idea. You know, per herd, they could nominate maybe one alpha apex, just that single, not its group, but just that single, like trike, theory, whatever it is, to help defend the mid tiers. Only that one, not the rest of the herd, but that one particular, like say it was a trike, could defend anything else. Just to kind of give the medium tier Herbies a way to play, because you don't really see pairs all that often. You don't see too many Packies. You hardly ever see any Mayas. It would, to me, it would just feel like a little more balanced, because that's just my suggestion. And again, that's coming from I only play carnivore. I'm just trying to look.
Do you guys think we should limit Shants and Theories from nesting back to, you know, with permission?
Yes.
Or, and if you get with admin permission.
I
to
don't
avoid that
I
issue.
agree.
Shants? Yes, 100%. The Shant can destroy a spinal like it's paintbrush.
Okay, one at a time, please. One at a time, please.
So,
how about instead of an apex, how about just mid tiers can mix protect, and apexes cannot protect anything other than their herd? Because if there is a solo, like if there's a good trike player, and you are a mid tier or a low tier carnivore, you're never gonna get around that trike player without losing pack mates. Or if let's say you only have 2 of you.
Well, that's where pack play. That's where you actually have to think about a tactic to come in. That's also why I'm saying nominate one apex, because it's going to promote smarter pack play into this fight. You'll have 2 or 3
just
people.
came up with a good idea.
I do like the mid tier being able to protect.
We could change herd limits to mix mix herd limits, where if people do mix herd limits where they can defend each other, but they can be much smaller.
I think if
I said that. I said lower the amount.
One apex.
I disagree there, but that's what I said. I said lower the herd limit and just allow, like, limit the apex and just allow them all to defend each other. Like, there can only be 4 apex of any kind. If that's 3 trikes, 1 theory, 3 trikes, 1 shant, all Shants, you know, like, so be it. But I think it's like sort of like playing Rex, you know, it should be somewhat of a trade-off. You choose to play Apex, and because of that, you limit how many friends you can have in your, like, powerful group. I think that herds should be able to fight back, because other than if they can't, they're just literally sitting prey. But I don't think that we should be able to walk upon a literal herd of like 24 Shants.
Like, okay, Anki's perfect example. You hardly see them at all. A Rex and a Giga can literally just sit there and astride an Anki and kill it. So if an Anki's in a herd by himself, and a pack of Rexes just show up, or two Rexes, 2 Gigas, whatever. Oh, hey, we want the Anki, everybody move so we can kill him. It's kind of like, well, sorry man, later. And especially after growing an Anki, well, that guy's probably going to get off, because that's a lot of time.
Okay. So I will say I like that idea of limiting how many Apexes we have. Like that 4 of any kind. There is one issue with that. How do you limit a trike family? Are you talking about just adult? Or does that include
anything under adult is irrelevant and garbage, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So just adults, meaning
trikes are only allowed to be 2 in a group, anyways.
Yeah.
How
and that
about?
was based off of the suggestion I made.
How about instead of all the work that would be going into changing the herd limits, we just limit it to 1 Apex group per herd?
I greatly disagree.
I agree with that.
I don't,
but
because
I will take 2 trikes over 2 Shants.
I agree with that, but currently I don't feel like there's enough mid-tier herbivore players at the moment, because they get slaughtered left and right to really
that would encourage
have an
more
effect.
people to
But,
play.
yes, it would.
But I mean, I feel like that also could have the potential just to scare away Herbies, because to be fair, 2 Apexes can do stuff, but a Rex is gonna just walk over any mid-tier, and if it's 2 trikes, 2 Rexes will just basically shit on it. It's, you know, it's just a joke at that point, and I feel like that has the potential.
The Rexes pretty much shit on everything.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Except for me.
Or more of also a statement in there. Herbivores in real life, when they saw a carnivore, would run. How many people saw that Disney dinosaur movie from 2003 with the iguana?
Oh my god, I love that.
Stop attacking my childhood.
What happened? What happened when the carnivore came out of the tree line? Everybody ran.
They booked it.
But did you see the end of the movie?
Yeah.
There's the story. But what I'm trying to tell you is, from a more realistic standpoint, you know, a lot of herbivores would run away. The mid-tiers might not be strong enough to defend against Rex, but a lot of the mid-tiers are fast enough to run away. Yes or no?
Yes,
well,
I agree.
We should keep in mind, though, that this is a semi-realism server, and it still does come down to the player. I don't think we should force a mid-tier to basically run away. I mean, I think, like I'm old.
And we're not trying to.
I think Herbie should be able to fight, just because it's fun. It's fun that way in most cases, as long as there's not an army of Shants. You know, it makes you play more tactically, not just run in, hey, I'm going for the packy, and everyone fucks off.
Well, how many armies of Shants do you see running around all that often?
A lot.
A lot. Yeah.
Jazza, I like that plan, but like then again, like let's say you are a juvie and you see like a juvie packy is like, oh, I'm gonna starve, I need to eat that, and then an adult trike comes running out of the bushes, and now you're like, well, fuck, I cannot eat that packy.
I mean,
anymore.
as a juvie, you know you're not going to kill shit besides AI. Yeah. That's already a given.
I mean,
no juvies are hunting the herd in the current state.
Right now, most juvies, I can take on other juvies. I've taken on N1 some fights I shouldn't have, so I should get the benefit of the doubt, and that I could have killed that juvie.
You know, the thing is, though, well, this is still a semi-realism server, so while in real life, a buffalo wouldn't give 2 shits about a deer, it's still semi-realism, and I think herbivores should be able to be defensive. They should be able to protect other herbivores. They shouldn't necessarily be aggressive, but if something is clearly going to attack one of them, I feel like as players, they should have the right to attack and defend each other. Like,
otherwise, there's no reason to be in a herd.
Exactly, there is no reason to be in a herd. We might as well.
Herbivores could probably protect others, subs and babies, but I just don't see the reality of a trike going to help a stego.
But I mean, but again, this is a semi-realism server. You guys keep going back to reality. This isn't a realism server, so we can't.
Okay, I'll stop. Let me stop you all there. Even though this is a semi-realism server, you also have to take into account of the fact that other people are also playing, and we don't want to ruin their gameplay. If we limit how much someone can protect someone or how much someone can't protect someone, it's going to ruin another's gameplay.
Well, if we wanted to go to, it is semi-realism, those rules, because if you think about it, realism would be stegos ain't going to be laying next to trikes. You guys aren't going to be nesting next to each other. They're not. We let the herbies herd together as a way a deterrence to keep some of the carnivores from going through and.
The thing is, well, Daza, is I know you've brought up a lot of suggestions. A lot of people have brought up suggestions. Here's the issue right now. No matter what suggestion is being said, the only one, and this is not me attacking you. I'm agreeing on a lot of the stuff that you've brought up, but the only one that you think works best is the one you brought up. Yes or no?
No. It's just everyone seems to be giving a weirder variation. Like, he thinks that there should be only one Shant group, or not one Shant group, one Apex group, but they should be able to defend each other. That's just a slightly worse version of what mine is.
I think I would agree with your mix protecting if you would come up with a herd limit that made it so that they weren't unpenetrable.
18 max for Apex. 24 max, like 6 Apex. Well, I mean, see, the problem with this is you would have to limit the amount. Like, you definitely have to decrease the herd, otherwise they would be unstoppable. But that's where other balancing. It is really simple to change a herd. You just edit the limit, and hey, look, 16, no longer 24. I'm not trying to, like, attack you, but
before this one, where herds were allowed to mix protect, they were untouchable. Like, you could not kill any of them because you'd have all of them in your face.
How many of you versus them, and what were they?
Exactly. It comes into pack play. Pack play needs to be emphasized so much in this. Because if you're a solo, I don't care what you are, solo, walking into a herd, what are you expecting to do, man?
I mean, right now,
we just brought up another good example.
Solo Giga and was winning, so it's doable.
I mean, it is
That's
doable.
player dependent.
Exactly. It's like trying to nerf Dillos because one Apex can't fight an army of Dillos, but two can. It's you can't just nerf it on that form of level.
I'll explain this to you guys. It's hard to make the perfect changes in a game that's not properly done yet.
Yeah.
Like I said, somebody who's only been playing for 8 days, and I don't know everything, but I've played both sides. So, as a herb, I'm sitting there. I have not seen many Rexes fail or many Gigas fail on a hunt. They come to a pack. They get what they want. There's not a whole lot we can do about it. So, I mean, I don't see what you guys are all complaining about. When you guys are the Apex Predators, you literally kill anything you want. Yeah, one of you might die, but you're going to still get food.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, they're saying that's too boring.
Me and 123 went on a different server, and we played as trikes. And we were able to kill the 2 Rexes attacking us. So it is doable. It's just, it's really hard to base a dino on base stats when
it's hard to base
a
single dino on a community.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why we
Hey,
allow.
if you're a carnivore and you want to challenge meal, go fight the same species.
But
That's what I do. This is Spino.
So now are you forcing all carnivores to only fight carnivores and just ignore herbivores?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, as in general, as a rule itself, you should think, well, if I'm a carnivore and fighting this herb, I'm gonna go find something of the same species that can fight back and make it interesting.
So
Actually,
you're saying
if you want to talk about how you suggesting turkeys run away, truth be told, carnivores avoid other carnivores. By the way,
unless they're hunting them.
Not to like judge you, Amp, but you're saying. So right now you're saying never mind. Just never mind.
Can I make a suggestion? Wouldn't it be better, since we're trying to gauge what's the best for the community, to have a group of possible rule changes when it comes to herbies v carnivores by the community like this, and have the community vote on maybe like a top 3 or 5 and continue down the line until there's one the community likes the best? I mean, obviously not everybody's going to agree on all the rules. Everyone plays different dinosaurs, and they're gonna like certain rules against certain dinos and certain rules not against them. But something that the community majorly can agree on.
Well, that's because
the
everybody wants
only
rules that
problem-
benefit the dinosaur they play.
Yeah, but
I will
that's
see,
I
and
see.
that's what we're trying to as a do right now.
mid-tier Dino player for both herbivore and carnivore. I don't see many mid-tier herbivores as much as I did back when. So if we can make it to where at least mid-tier herbivores could like pack up with each other, it'd be a little more fun because as like a raptor
What
player,
if-
all you see is trikes, chants, and big old murder turkeys.
But this is
and
where this is where the problem
hold on,
arises,
hold
though,
on.
is because if we have big groups of mid, then they're gonna get shit on by. I mean, they can run, but they
What
can't
if-
fight like an
it's
apex.
better than having no mids.
Try running as an imp.
Yes, but
I-
but that's
Well,
why you should
I
be
think
able to
the
let them fight.
mid-tier should
Okay,
be-
one talk at a time.
Let them.
But what if you let the mid tiers defend each other? Could that maybe do something or no?
Well, that's
I mean,
what
it
said,
depends. It
but,
depends.
Like, just have their herd like dumbed down a bunch.
Yeah, I just
Why
got
not
one
just
thing
Because,
to
like,
say and I'm
maybe-
done. I don't want to say anything else after this. Like, could we just like have a scheduled thing, or something that's kind of posted, like, okay, in like 5 days or on this day, we're gonna have a discussion about these rules, and not really so much as, oh, this rule got the most upvotes, so let's use it, but things that kind of make sense, like do like pros and cons on the rules, so it's not just well, this benefit these people more, so that's why this one got upvoted more. Like, it can get upvoted more, but if it doesn't make sense, or the cons outweigh the pros, then all right, let's not use it. Like, we just have a scheduled thing to where we talk about rules instead of like a spare of the moment, everybody trying to throw their rules in at one time, and we don't know when this is going to happen again.
I feel like
I wanna
meetings
oppose that.
like this are really helpful from a community standpoint. And I think
To an
doing them
extent.
to
Just
an
also
extent.
think of the people who can't be here right now and voice their own opinion and ideas at the same time too, which is why voting is also a good thing to have on the server, which allows the people who have busier schedules than us free people currently.
Well, it also
scheduled.
I'm gonna
This
tell you
all-
what. That sounds like a good idea, and we'll do that because we've done it before. But it's gonna end up like every other vote, and everything gets split 50-50 almost every time.
See, but if I have any input, you're the owners. What you say really does go. It is simple as that sometimes, but I feel like voting sometimes suggestions are almost ignored on the server. I mean, I'm not saying all of them are, but almost all of my time on Isle has been in this server, and I feel like very few suggestions end up becoming a thing, even though some of them are very valid, some of them benefit both sides. Like, sometimes there is a trade-off, like, this might negatively affect Carnies, but it will very, very, very positively affect a Herbie, but then it'll almost get ignored because of that. Like, sometimes there are going to be trade-offs, and I feel like we have to be more willing to accept those trade-offs.
Well, it's sometimes not easy for people to understand why certain things get left, because there's times that we do change stuff, and then half of the server attacks us. And what I mean by attacks us, we literally get messages that say, "You guys are fucking idiots. You're a dumb fat cunt." I'm not kidding you. That's what we get.
I mean,
Stuff like that.
I mean, I feel like that's gonna happen. I'm not saying you should. I would never attack. Like, I would never intentionally just like call out an admin like that. But what I'm trying to say is just like, sometimes people are gonna be displeased, but sometimes if it's for the greater good of the overall server, then let them be displeased.
I could say this: anybody who's ever been a server or admin on another, an admin on another server of any game, knows what hell admins go through. Okay, and if you haven't, then you need to try it at least once to understand what these people go through on a daily basis. You have a bunch of whine asses, little salty people that break rules, try to get away with it, and they got to deal with this all the time, all day long. It's not that easy.
Well, see, with the old rules that were put into play that we had before the most recent rule change, where everyone kind of fell out, I felt like a lot of the complaining was coming from the Herbies, more or less, because you had a lot of carnivores just running around killing left and right.
And that's why we
Well,
have the rules that we do for the Herbies, because we try to
hang on, Ezra,
entice
hang on.
people to play more Herbies.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, see here, like me and Dazza, exclusive carnivore players almost the entire time. It's come to the point to where straight carnivore players are trying to help herbies out because just from running around, walking into a group, we want you killing them. Just watching them cry and chat, like this is our kind of way of just like, hey, yeah, this something needs to change, just so they can enjoy it more, because it's got to be miserable just walking up and be like, you're gonna die now, little guy. Sorry. I don't know.
Yeah, we tried our best to stop all that stuff, and then what happened was we started the website to make it more professional. I put all the rules that everybody wanted in, and what happened was nightmares. It was horrible, to the point it was making a lot of the admins hate each other and fight amongst each other because the rules were changing for, I don't know. It's been one hell of a learning nightmare experience, but like I said, we're still willing to try and find out what the community likes. But we're gonna change it off the herbivore subject now, because obviously herbivores is a big thing that needs work.
Okay.
Can I ask for a rule clarification then? Oh, you may continue. So if you don't mind me saying, one reason I feel like admins fight is because sometimes information is really poorly spread, and my example, and it's also a question that needs verified, is what the hell is going on with non-survival? Can I kill every single non-survival I want? Do I have to leave a female? Can I not attack their nest? Can I destroy nests? Like, what is the rule? Because I get told by one
Nests
admin...
are off limits.
But where's it written?
Yes.
Like, it's not
You
said
should-
anywhere. But that's what the problem is some people go off rules, some admins go off rules. They'll be like, oh, it's not listed on a rule. Go ahead, destroy the nest. But you guys clearly
Okay.
think it is.
Okay,
So, like,
let me ask you this, because we're not tired, like, oh, we're upset. We're tired of hearing some admin give us names.
I wouldn't do that
And we will
because
talk.
I don't
No,
wanna do that.
It's
Well,
not that
no,
they
hold
would get in
on.
trouble.
Not against. I don't usually go. I don't go against admins or nothing, but this is one of those things I'm taking their side on. If it's not in the rule, it's not a rule. If it's not in the rules that says do not kill somebody else's nest, then by all means destroy somebody's
So
nest.
by what you said, Amp, is if I wanted to, as a raptor, I could wipe out an entire family of berries with no mercy whatsoever.
No,
If
you're
it
not.
was
That's
kill your fill.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean, like, I don't mean I just kill them all. I mean, like, I kill one, leave, come back, they're still there, and I kill another, and I leave, and I come back, and
Wouldn't
then I
that
kill...
be considered KFS?
No,
Yeah,
because
not
I
a-
wait.
No.
I wait.
Well, no, hold on.
to kill
Let me
them.
read Rule 1 to you. Pay attention. No killing for sport. This means do not kill more than your fill. So right there, that's breaking that rule.
I think my wording was
He
bad.
means
I meant...
what he means is coming back when he's hungry, and then killing
Because
another.
of the
Well, then,
non-survival
I
dino
don't
rule.
see why. I don't see why he can't do that. Then maybe if the non-survival dinosaurs can be wrecked by him, maybe they should move on to an.
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
Okay.
I'm
The
glad
one
you
thing
said
I will say that I don't know if it's because these rules were the older rules that needed to be revised. These were like version 1, so there was a version 2 that was still in the Discord. This is before the website completely. Is don't target the same group. Because let me ask you this, Daza. Put yourself in that player's shoes. How would you feel if the same person, when they were hungry, I'm not saying you're going to KFS, but if the same person just kept coming over and over and over when they're hungry and killing your entire group,
I
would you
don't
want to
care.
play anymore?
I don't care. If I'm gonna be 100%
No,
honest,
no.
I really
Stop.
don't tend to mind. 'Cause
Stop.
I play a carnivore, so I defend myself. So
The thing is if a carnivore is smart enough to keep going back to where the food is, then the people are dumb enough to stay in that location, and they deserve to die.
yeah, I'll
What
agree.
if they're
with that.
nesting?
But
Now wait a minute. That is a good point. If they are nesting, then what I would do if I was that dinosaur, well, this other dinosaur knows where we're at. I'm gonna destroy my nest and move to another location and re-nest. Or I'm gonna learn to fight in the game, and I'm gonna kill that dinosaur that comes back, kills my babies.
Yeah, and like I agree, but like sometimes I will say sometimes nesting that might be risky because your hatchlings can starve fairly not fast, but they can.
But
you know,
if somebody
wither
comes
away.
over to your area and kills one, eats the food and leaves and comes back 5 minutes later doing it, that also goes to show what kind of
And
player
see,
that is.
See, that's also where I've had problems because I've had admins get like not aggressive, but they get like annoyed at me for doing that. But it's not listed anywhere that I can't. Like I'll walk up to a nest because don't get me wrong, it's an asshole thing to do, but it's not against the rules, so I can do it, and I'll just destroy it. I'll just destroy it and walk away. If a female walks away from the nest, I'll just break it and walk away. I mean, it's an asshole thing to do. I'm not saying it's not, but it's not
But
listed
now you
anywhere
see
that
where
I
we're
can.
getting. This is why the rules kept getting worse and worse. Is because exploits, where people, instead of thinking of other players, knowing that hey, these people spent time in their dino too, I'm just gonna keep going because it's easy food. What we're trying to get the community to do is to be friendly with each other, knowing that as an apex predator, well, I know I can kill a player, so I kill a player for food. Now that I've killed a player for food and I'm hungry 10 minutes later, do you think it's idealistical to maybe be a nice guy and go eat a few AI for a while and then maybe go hunt somebody later? Or is it just people want to come in? Now, it's your right to keep hunting players, but what I'm getting at is maybe we all should treat each other with a little decency and say, all right, I know it takes hours to grow a dinosaur. I'm going to be fair and go hunt something else for a change.
But can you really
Basically,
force that onto a player, though? No,
I didn't say I was.
That's great in practice.
Guys,
it
one at a
falls
time,
apart
one at a
when
time,
you
one at a
try
time.
to
I never once said that it was a rule. I said it just goes to show a player. I said, don't you think out of decency that's what you should do? Doesn't mean people are going to do that. It just means that's a good way to destroy a server, just to go back and just keep killing whatever you want constantly. I mean,
I agree.
That's
but
why
I
people
also,
hate on people that do
I
that.
agree, but I also disagree.
Plan for the worst.
Here's what I'll tell you. I tend to like this server specifically out of more other servers. For one, out of all the servers I've been on, this server I've observed the most people where it's like if they see like a, if like they're a big old T-Rex and they see like a baby or something, unless they're starving, they'll be like, oh, I'll just leave it alone or something like that. And then sometimes, usually carnivores don't go for bigger prey that might like screw them up bad unless A, they're really hungry, B, they want to just start a fight and maybe die and maybe get food out of it. But it's like people more or less have common sense here, so if we keep practicing common sense, it should spread theoretically.
Thank God, you just spoke what I've been trying to get this community to do forever. Common sense. I know not everybody has that, but the thing is it's this whole golden rule thing. Treat others how you want to be treated. Yes, if you're an Apex, you can kill people once in a while and eat them. We don't have a problem with you doing that. It's just we really don't want people in the community that all they're going to do is kill somebody, move on. 5 minutes later, they're killing somebody else. Well, I had a little bit of hunger. Move on. 5 minutes later, kill somebody else. See, that's not cool.
Speaking of that, Amp, if I could bring you back to another rule or two. Go ahead, man. Oh.
Can I say something real quick about that whole like issue with using common sense and stuff? I have 5 Albertos, which are donation, I assume not survival. Just chased me down and slaughtered me for like 3 bites of food last night.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I know.
And that's just to me. That's
to be
like I shouldn't be targeted.
Albertos have very small stomachs and fill up fast.
But
I mean, it's not fair to have
there was
5 come after me
okay,
and murder me.
It sucks. You were the best choice of food. It was either you or packs of apexes.
But see, that's
Wrong
also
place,
that's
wrong
also
time.
that's also where problems
That's-
arise
well,
though,
it's-
because like that's where because Albertos seriously have like 3.5 hour food time, so it's like an hour and a half to get to 50. but the way the
It seemed
rules
like they
are is it's logical, but at the same way the way the rules are, it's basically telling them not to hunt, and that's fine. It's reasonable. They can't eat, but some people don't want to be friendly. Some people play this game purely for the PvP aspect. I won't deny it. I'm one of those people. You say treat others how I want to be treated. Well, the thing is I want to constantly be in combat. If a Herbie wants to rush me, let it. I want to get the fight back.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Gaza. Have you played on any other server besides ours?
Yes.
Yep. Have you played on official?
No.
Good luck trying to grow on official because their rules are no mega packing, no mix packing.
Okay.
That's about it.
I mean,
That's literally it. Besides the water rules.
But
And the minute you spawn in, you're being hunted because nobody wants you to get big, so they don't lose their big dinosaur.
But the thing is
juveniles get murked.
I have played on another server like that, and I lived, and I just did that because it's how I want to play. It's a trade-off, you know. You can't say use common sense and treat others how you want to be treated because it all comes because that's a personal level. That's not a server thing. Some people want to play Raptor. They want to get on a rock. They want to munch Ava. They want to have a party, you know, crack open beers and laugh with their friends. And some people literally just want to barrel charge everything and kill it. So I feel like that's where you can't just say that because don't get me wrong.
Play a big boy.
I
Play a Rex
have.
when they're constantly hungry.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I use common sense. I won't hunt unless I'm hungry. But like, I like killing non-survival hatchlings. It's an asshole. It's absolutely mean. I shouldn't do it, but I find it fun. I like targeting non-survival. I mean, that it's targeting, but I mean, I don't walk around. I mean, I will hunt anything.
Can I tell you something? some of those people that you like to target fun, just remember they're the ones that actually are donating, keeping the server going, and they're actually spending their money to get some of those dinosaurs, and you're just going around and murking them for fun.
And I respect that. I've donated to the server too. I like the people in the server a lot. Like I don't.
Yes.
Robbed me of $80 once.
Yeah, I literally killed him twice.
Yeah, I got
him-
killed as an Anki after just donating once.
Well, here's the thing. That's why we have
life.
2 servers. One is a rule server, what we have now, and then we have the Bio Isle 2, which is no rules. You can go mix pack, do whatever the hell you want.
Let me.
You know, you want to have a group of 50 Stegos and 20 Trikes, and you want to defend each other. Go ahead, because
here's-
server 2 has no rules.
Here's where another
Just
problem arises. Not a lot of people play server 2. I'm not saying that it's because people don't like server 2, but because everyone plays on server 1.
Okay, but the thing is that if no one plays on server 2, if no one ever goes to server 2 to play on it, it will never get populated.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, as much as I would like to see both servers active, I'm not going to sit by myself on a server until other people decide. I'll just go into the server with more people.
I was on server two.
We've been working the last few days to try to get people in there. We've been getting people.
Yeah, I actually liked the
It's gonna take
event.
some
I
time.
mean, there were some things I didn't like about it, but it weren't like big things. It was just sometimes it was like, wow, this is taking a while. But other than that, I thought it was fun as hell.
Every server is a bit different.
A lot of
and
gears
You're
to
not going to be able to please everyone on it, sadly.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
a fact. That's like with like anything out there these days. If you like what's here, stay and have fun. If you don't necessarily like the way things are, maybe
There's
I don't
other
like
servers.
Yeah, there's other servers. I don't like pushing people out of a community, but obviously the people in this community are liking the way things are to a degree, of course, that they're staying here and they're all playing together and working with each other. So why force such a, not saying like your ideas are radical, but why force such a radical PvP like idea forward when most of the server does not necessarily want that?
I'm
I mean,
not, but you're also
What I'm
telling
trying to
me
get people
to
to
treat others
understand
how I
is
want.
this is a survival game, and everybody wants rules that'll keep them alive if you guys really think about it. And the thing here is, we're trying to make it to where people can have fun together, but don't abuse. It's really hard to make the perfect game. So basically, that's why we put minimal rules. We don't enforce a lot of stuff that, you know, if you run past a shunt and a shunt kills you, well, you shouldn't have got that damn close to their nest. It's a huge ass map. If it's a shunt by itself, if there's a shunt by themselves sitting by a nest and you decide to run through the shunt and it stands up and kills you, well, then go cry in another server because that's the stuff we deal with that sucks.
But Amp, so are Herbies able to be aggressive or not? You're telling me
you're attacking.
Yes.
You're attacking somebody's
There's a nest.
But you're
down.
not gonna run a football field away to chase down a carnivore neither.
But it depends. It just depends, you know. Like
Basically the whole aggressive Irby thing that we've kept as basically a common sense thing. If they're within sightline of your nest, that's as far as you can chase them.
So if I put my nest on a mountain, I could literally kill everyone I see.
No.
Okay,
well,
now you're just
come on now.
nitpicking and trying to find ways around it.
But that's what I mean. Is sometimes rules do
And
have to be
not
specific.
not to be an ass.
Common sense comes
Not
in.
to be an ass, but your type of player is the kind we're trying to eliminate out of here. Because all you do is come up with stuff left and right. Well, what about this? What? And this is why we all fight and have problems.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, it's not. I do really like. I like the people on the server a lot. But the problem
Well,
is
then
sometimes.
that means you need to start playing the way that everybody in the server. If you don't like to play that way, then you
But
need to
then
find another
that's
server
where
to play the way
problems
you want
arise
to.
because you tell me to treat others how I want to be treated, but then when I treat others how I want to be treated,
You want people to
I
treat
get
you
mad.
like shit.
Yeah, I want combat. That's
And
why
nitpick
I
it.
play this game.
Well, then anytime anybody in here sees Daza, you murder the shit out of him.
Go ahead. My pack will have a blast.
I'm just kidding. I'm
Blessing
just
to
kidding.
my
That's
pack.
that's not what I mean, dude. But you see when we're all talking about something, we come up with a basic rule that makes common sense. You nitpick at it, and we've had so many people in here that do that. And you know what? I'm the kind of guy. I love you as a person. I respect you. But if you can't play by the rules, then get the fuck out of here.
And I know.
That's all I
but
gotta say.
I just say common sense isn't always. You know, it varies with each person. Some people think, oh, common sense, you know, a couple footsteps away. Some people, you know, oh, it says what I
Not
can
everybody
see.
was raised with common sense.
Isn't
exactly.
that's why
That's where
especially
problems
the blue mods are
It's
on the
just
server,
objective.
so if there is a dispute with something like that, one can step
They're
in.
the police.
And there's
Absolutely
the
right.
reports
And
team.
if one says one thing and if the other says another thing, well, it depends on what they can come to an agreement and really who you came to first.
I know how to fix this problem. Amp, make everybody take an IQ test before
Dazzler,
they're able to
Mr.
play.
Todd.
They can play on this server.
Oh my god.
Like
Simple as
Man,
that.
I don't think I'll even be allowed to play in this server if I can.
There's at least half the player base. Well, what about people with special needs? That's kind of unfair.
Oh no.
Yeah, God, rude.
He's mayonnaise and
Why you gotta single out Daza like?
Come on.
Because he won't shut up and let anyone else talk.
You know what? Because I'm pointing out the flaws. I'll shut up because
All I
I'm
gotta say is, if you feel like you want to play, the way you're talking, where you like to go around and just murk stuff and just be that way, then obviously this is not the server for you. So I would kindly ask people that want to play that way to please leave, because that's what we're trying to work against. We want people to have fun here, make friends, and have a good time. And obviously, if you're here just to kill people for fun, that's trying to be in it. There is a place for gamers like that. It's called official server.
And Sandbox. So
And Sandbox.
I like playing like Daza. I don't like playing his play style. I like killing things, but I don't like.
Well, we all love killing
Yeah,
things,
be an asshole.
but we have to do them within a
You have
certain. We
to
have
do
to do it
it
within
within
reason, because it takes hours. Guys, this server's gonna get so much better when Dondi releases the time stuff. When I'm able to go into the files and change the growth times of all the dinosaurs and cut them in half, I guarantee you half the issues go out the window. The problem is when somebody spends 8 hours to grow a Rex and then they get murked because of a stupid rule. Of course people are going to get pissed. I spent 8 freaking hours amped to grow this Rex and I died because this guy broke a rule. See, if I change it to where the growth times are half, because we're the only server talking about that right now. But we have to wait for Dondi to release it.
If I could bring you back to a couple of rules, Amp, real quick, before we get too far away. So how you said if a rule's not in there, it's not a rule. I don't want to like nitpick, like you said, but like it doesn't specifically say anywhere that people need to contest a body, and it also doesn't specifically say anywhere about fight interruptions, which we think is a problem.
Yeah.
Of
What do
mixed
you mean
packing.
fight interruptions?
If I am, let's say I am a pack of raptors, and I see an adult and a sub-Rex, and I'm like, we're all hungry, let's go for that sub-Rex. We start attacking that sub-Rex. A different group of apexes, let's say 2 gigas, show up. With the current rule set, they are allowed to interrupt that fight and try and slaughter us while we are currently fighting those Rexes, and often what would happen is those gigas, for example, would scare us away from the Rexes, and then they would just walk away, and then they would say something like, oh, well, we didn't go after the Rexes because we weren't hungry enough for them, but we're hungry enough for you because you're little raptors. We're not care-bearing them, we're just interrupting your fight.
Then you know what
we
you do?
want you.
You turn the attention from them Rexes and go kill them Gigas.
Right, but even as 15 raptors fighting 2 full-grown gigas is next to
Yeah.
suicide, and our
Because
hunters
all
are
turn-
I've singly,
Because
with
of
one
the
raptor,
alt
taken
turn,
out
man.
Gigas by myself.
It's the
Right.
food chain.
It's called
to
ass
be fair,
riding.
Gotta go to little fish.
we also
Ass
can't
riding,
just
dude,
grow
what is that,
ourselves, so
amazing
when we
alt turn?
die, it kind of means something, and when a bunch of us die, they get disheartened, and then they get off, and then the pack isn't as powerful, because you really do need that many raptors, or that many dillos, or that many whatever, to do that type of stuff, so people don't really want to fight 2 adult gigas, 2 adult Rexes, stuff like that. I mean, it
Psycho,
makes
can I
sense.
interrupt you real quick?
Of course, I was done.
Part of the game is growing and dying.
Oh,
Does
yeah.
it suck? But even I know I'm talking to you as a player, even before I was an admin. I've played on official, I've played on Nicta, I've played on a lot of places. Yeah, it sucks when you die in a hunt. It absolutely sucks when you use up a lot of time to grow something and then eventually end up dying. Let me tell you this, there were a lot of times where I played Dilo or Utah and I die like 6 or 7 times throughout the day during hunts and stuff. The thing is, when you say people get disheartened and not want to play anymore, I'm sorry, it's part of the game.
Right.
At that point, if they want to take a break, sure. Nobody's gonna tell them.
Yeah,
You know, you
that
have
was
to do
more of an
something,
example, but it also
Alright.
applies to other apexes as well. If I'm in a group of apexes, and for example, Ant-Man, you even saw it. We were a group of 2 Gigas, and we were trying to get after a sub Rex, and a different group of Rexes just started following us wherever we went, getting between us and our prey that we wanted, and they can do that. There's no rule that says that they can't choose who they want to fight.
But
And they
you're in
were
the same
hungry
areas.
enough.
Then what if they're hungry? I mean,
Then why are they not going for that sub other Rex? You know, they're going out of their way to choose us to protect their friend, and within the rules, they're allowed to do that because they are allowed to choose their hunt, because they are allowed to interrupt a hunt.
But that's not
If
always
they
the case,
all these
though.
right, but a
Yeah.
lot of the time, apexes that are hanging around, like Twin Lakes, for example, are all friends. And if you try and go for one of those groups, another group will randomly show up and come and slaughter you. Or if you kill someone, they'll randomly show up and take your food.
Happens
It's
all the time.
just it happens
So-
all the time around that area, especially because that's where
Well,
all
like
the
you
apex
said,
friends hang out.
It happens where all the Apex friends hang out in a certain area.
Right.
If it was me, I'd be hunting in a different area then.
Right.
So don't play there.
Yeah. So
Well, it's just kind of hard to make rules on certain things that, like, okay, if you see Gigas hunting some Rexes, then you're not allowed to hunt them until
Well, the rule
now
could
the-
just be don't interrupt fights until the fight is over. That way, no one can save their friend, but they can avenge their friend. If anything, I'd rather
Well-
still get my kill and then be killed than not even be allowed to get my kill or do anything.
But in your
If I-
scenario,
well, hold
in
on,
your
hold on.
scenario,
If I
wasn't-
may.
yeah.
Okay, so he's saying that you were saying like a pack of raptors going after that sub-adult, and then 2 Gigas come over and contest you, right, for that sub?
Yep.
And then they don't even go after it?
Correct.
I would maybe... Now, I don't know if... get an admin, or... Because I'm
Right.
not entirely sure if that is in the rules. I would
It
have
is
to go
not.
reread
That's
everything.
the problem.
I'll tell you a counter to that scenario, though. Imagine if you were the Raptors and say a Giga was going for a Rex baby and stuff like that. As a group of Raptors, and you're thinking, holy crap, that's a nice juicy meal. We can go and pick that off, and maybe the Giga and the Rex will fight each other. And then they go in, start attacking, and realize, oh crap, maybe this isn't the best idea, and then dip potato chip, you know? That's not necessarily like the worst scenario.
You
It
gave
just kind of happens.
sort of like the exact opposite, because it's not the problem that the attackers are losing their hunt, it's the attackers are getting suddenly attacked by another group.
But I'm saying see it like if it came from that way, because for all we know, that could have been what happened in some other scenarios, but other people could have perceived it as, oh, they're helping their friend and stuff like that. And not to
Let
mention,
me
when I
see.
play Apex
Well,
Predators,
Can I give an
and
example?
I kind of hang around other
Listen,
Apexes.
listen, if I may, because I've been seeing a couple times that where Cardinals and Raptors will try to take down the Apes. The thing is that if you're hungry, you gotta try to get some food. Either way. Now, you gotta choose of who you want to go after. You can't not chase off one person and go after the other if they're trying to hunt the same thing. You can. You should. Because if that's what you want to get your food, you should chase the other party away so you can have your food.
Then just
Now-
wait till they kill him and then contest.
The issue he's explaining is more of a overpacking
pack.
issue.
It's a mega
that
packing
we
issue.
Continue
Yeah.
to have.
Well,
mainly
I
between
was-
Rexes and Gigas. Like that's essentially where the problem is starting to boil down. That's where they're throwing in, oh, my friend here. Well, the pack limit is currently 2 Rexes, like 2 adult Rexes and a sub. Okay, their sub just grew to adult. All right, they're bringing in another sub. That adult wanders 10 feet off. Okay, that adult's being targeted by 2 Gigas. Oh, well, these 2 Rexes and their new sub are going to run those Gigas off because that's their friend. But they could try to argue that, oh, we were coming after y'all Gigas, that Rex got away, so on and so forth, when they actually had every intention of just protecting their friend that just left their
So you know what you do then?
Hey,
So they break a rule and you'll get your dinosaur back. Make sure you're keeping evidence. You go and attack, and if they come and
Well-
attack, you turn them in, and they get in trouble, and you get your dinosaur back.
Then he gets
I was gonna say, because for that, sorry to interrupt you, but I was gonna say, it should be kind of like contesting for a body. You know, if those raptors are hunting that sub, and I 3-roar, I should, still have to fight for that sub. I have to kill him because apparently I was hungry enough to 3-roar at those raptors to get out of there. I have to go kill that sub now.
So
Right,
actually,
so
how I've understood it is, if there is a bite between 2 parties, that is a hunt. They are hunting. You can't attack them until there is a forecall or a body drops, and then you're allowed to pick who you want.
The problem is that's not written
Let's
anywhere.
say, like, this actually was an actual scenario that happened to me. We were 2 Spinos. We were fighting 2 Rexes, and in the middle of that hunt, somebody came and, like, there was another Spino at the lake and came and attacked my friend. So at one point, I was fighting 2 Rexes and a solo Spino. And so, and the hunt wasn't even over.
That just goes back to what I was just saying earlier, is that when you chase somebody off, you gotta finish off what you chose to choose.
Oh,
now,
he didn't even 3-call.
But no, but what I'm saying is the people that was chased off originally, they can come back and challenge for that food now.
How I think it should be is after a body drops, what the third party that was gonna go interrupt the hunt, what they should do is 3-call for the body. Then they have food. That or leave if they want to go hunt something else.
Okay, now hang on. I actually have a question towards Amp on that specific subject right there. Let's say 3 raptors, or no, let's say a Giga just killed an Aloe. You're 2 hungry Rexes, okay? That Aloe is obviously not gonna fill 2 hungry Rexes up. At that point, do you still have to contest that food, eat that, knowing you're still going to be hungry, and let that Giga get away? Because that's a minuscule source of food for 2 adult Rexes.
Okay. Guys, Morris would like to ask a question. Go ahead, Morris.
Okay, so my suggestion is, and I don't know how many people will back this, but we've had multiple complaints throughout the history of our server, and since we have a no rule, which is the BioOwl 2 right now, I was going to suggest to everyone, what do you all think about turning off alt turn for the second server?
No.
No.
I knew that was gonna happen.
It changes the entire meta of the game, like the entire.
But it's a no rule server.
If you turn that
there
off,
are no
it
rules.
means it's like Necta.
What is?
Right, but there's nobody on the server.
She said number 2.
I said number 2, not number 1. This is for the no rule server.
Then I'll fall off cliffs easier.
If you turn off alt turn,
Sounds like a
then
you
can
problem. Guys, one at a time. Let Morris finish what she was saying, please.
My problem with that is if you're gonna turn the no off, I wouldn't do it on a no rules. If you were gonna make a server with rules and make it realism, then yeah, I would shut alt turn off for like super realism. But alt turn actually helps because I don't think it's fair that one solo raptor can get on the butt of a Giga or a Rex and keep biting it, and there's nothing that Rex can do.
Let me debate you there then, Amp, because since there'd be no rules, that Rex wouldn't have to be alone with only other Rexes, and it could be with things that could protect its butt, for example.
Right.
And Herbies could mix pack and Herbies could be aggressive, but since there is no alt turn, even if they are aggressive, if you're either big enough to fight them, or you're small enough to outturn them without alt turn.
And if I could finish real quick, the one reason why I also suggested this is because the majority of the players in the community that complain about having alt turn turned on is people that really love to fight. And since the BioOwl 2 is a no rule server besides denying food and water, then people can go crazy with fighting, and people will actually have more skillful fights, because when alt turn is turned off, you have to use your brain to fight. You can't just stand in one position and bite at the air.
I kind of agree, but alt turn, like, you can still have to use that skillfully, but I get what you're saying.
Also,
But
because
at
you're
the
also
same time,
without alt
hold
turn,
on.
too.
But at the same time, didn't we just say a no rule server means you're gonna have more people in your group? That Rex's face can only face one direction, so that means why it's focused on one dinosaur, the other one can come up and bite
I'm
it
gonna
on the
say
ass.
this is all really repetitive because then the Rex could have multiple people, but we could have multiple people.
Yeah,
Altern.
exactly.
I think we like Alternon. I don't think it should be changed. I'm just gonna put that out there.
I think it's cool to have it off, in my opinion.
I just think that people that don't know how to fight in the game want certain things certain ways, so that way they can feel like they're a better player.
Isn't
learn
that
some
alternating
tactics.
though?
I personally like.
I'm gonna suck either way.
No, here's how it works. Alt turn. I want you guys to picture this, okay? A Rex's turn radius is slow, but when you think of a dinosaur like a crocodile, okay? Crocodile. Let's just think of that. when it needs to reach something at its tail and it's fighting, is it almost instant or is it super slow at turning?
I would.
Almost instant.
I would
Yeah,
totally
it
agree
is.
with you.
Well, yeah, the alligators
Hello.
are pretty quick at jumping.
I would totally agree with where you're coming from, but the hitboxes are messed up. So it doesn't even matter if the Rex is slow at turning.
me
If
tell
it
you.
bites in the wrong direction, everybody's dead.
Again,
Yes, I'm the head of household. I'm actually in a meeting.
This is Randy for the National Coalition for Police and Troopers. Reason for the call is we're
Hang up.
elect lawmakers that promote legislation that punishes criminals for committing violent acts against police officers. They'll also be going out advocating to provide much
Well, maybe they shouldn't tase people. You ever think of that?
Get 'em. Spam
Yes, I
call.
was wanting to know. You said you guys were punishing people that hurt police officers. I got a question. Do you think people that touch animals should be in trouble? Because I have like a fetish with animals.
Hey, what do you think
hung
about
up.
turn?
I love spam calls.
I just
I
went
won't
to
turn
go
that
grab-
situation.
Hold on. I just went to go grab more pizza. What the heck did I just come back to? All I hear is I like to touch animals. Should I get in trouble too? And I'm like, what?
I don't know. I get spam calls all the time, so instead of telling them to take me off the call list, because that never works, I just troll them every time they answer the phone, and then they
Exactly.
actually.
That's
you
how
know,
you
it's
do
fun.
that, man.
The church
Sometimes they
always
get a
calls
laugh
me and
out of
tell
it
me I'm
too.
going to hell.
They do.
Okay, well, now that I've put the Alt 10 suggestion out there, if you guys don't want it, I don't want to see any more complaints about Alt 10 being turned on,
I don't
because we
think
get
most
them
of
a
us-
lot.
On or off?
I mean,
I just like crawling on
Yes.
rocks.
the thing is,
We have Alt 10 turned on, and we get complaints about it being turned on, and people want it turned off a lot.
The
We get a
thing-
ton of
that's
complaints
because
about it.
people suck at fighting.
and
It will
But
take me
Alt
10
10
years to
makes
turn
the
as an
game
Anki.
easy.
But also the thing is though the game is seriously almost different when you play
And it
with
takes
no
no skill to
alt turn.
answer.
Which is
Right.
why
Like-
I suggested it be on
Gigas.
just the Bio Isle 2.
Well, Jazza, hold on.
Yeah, you may talk.
Because if we can all probably agree that a server with alt turn on benefits larger dinos apexes. So, to kind of possibly solve people saying, hey, there aren't a lot of mid-tier people playing on this server, more is suggesting that the other server not having alt turn promotes more mid and low tier gameplay. So people who really want to do apex high tier gameplay could play on server 1. People who really feel
Exactly.
like doing mid or low tiers of gameplay can play on server 2. Then there's something for everyone, and if you feel like doing apex or you feel like doing mid tier, you can be happy somewhere.
It will also eliminate complaints about Alt 10 being turned on.
Well,
So-
also because you're also trying to promote. You're trying to promote that second server too, like with fight nights, all kinds of stuff like that. Nobody wants to go into a server where, let's say, okay, I go into Nublar, they don't have alt turn turned on, it's off. So I like that because I don't get to go watch two Rexes sit there and windmilling around each other. Just fucking, it looks retarded.
That point.
So I fully back up her idea on this, 100%.
I mean, even as an Apex, when I fight as an Apex, my whole goal isn't to face tank an alt turn, it's to get on their tail and keep them walking.
Okay, now whoever said that mid tier cannot kill an Apex is wrong. As a Dibble, I killed a Rex last night, so it can be done.
Dibbles are
Alright, so-
gods, by the way, so that's just my statement.
No, I hate Dibbles. Kill them all.
Alright, but I'm still getting mixed signals on the Alt 10 thing. Do the majority of people agree with it, or do they do not, like, they don't want it?
I feel like
You
you
have
should
to
give
do-
it a chance. Be better off making an announcement about it.
You have to do a vote because I'm gonna tell you right now.
Okay, can I get quiet real quick?
Yes.
We've went in a lot of circles. We've brought up a lot of subjects. There is a suggestion channel, and if people think that more suggestions need to be brought up, and we will do that. We will try and do that weekly community meeting or bi-weekly, like Amp said, so we can listen to people. But instead of diverting into multiple subjects, I like the alt turn off idea on server 2. That way we can also kind of bump up, like we said, server 2, because those that don't like alt turn have a server they can play on without alt turn. And those that like alt turn can play on server 1 with alt turn. That way there's a happy medium for everybody. And instead of just going around in circles and talking about the same things over and over, we can come to a decision. How does that sound to everybody?
Yes.
Here, here.
We've brought up some rule changes that need to be made, and we agree on, and we will be working on them in the time. But at the same time, if somebody wants to bring up a suggestion, go ahead, but we don't want it to be every time something needs a rule. That way, nobody's going to be happy at that point when they have to walk on eggshells to be afraid to break rules. Like we said, common sense and player decency, human decency. At the end of the day, this is a game. We're here to have fun. We're all people that are playing a game. Whether it's a dinosaur game, a zombie game, a racing game, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's still a game. Trucking simulator.
You get out of here. Think of it this way: if we had a server, if we had a battlefield server, and we were able to adjust all the shots, people would be complaining about this grenade's too powerful. You need to make these bullets do more damage. Like, that's exactly what would happen. So no matter what you do in what game, people want to feel like they're better
Validated?
at something. Yeah, like good, because obviously you get somebody, let's say somebody goes into a game and they get 10 kills and die once. And you got a guy over here that gets 1 kill and dies 10 times. Well, don't you
Good.
think if they could change rules and make things the way they want to make themselves close to an equal player, they would?
I gotta ditch Kara. I'll be back.
But I want to feel like a god amongst men. Give me all the power.
At the end of the day, like I said, things will be worked on. But keep in mind this: we can't, as human beings, you will never be able to please everyone. Never.
Unless they're all dead.
Well, oh god, that's
a different
morbid.
discussion.
That's morbid, but that's the point. We
Well,
will
that
never
would
be
be a
able to
different
please
discussion.
every single player in this server. What we ask as admins, like I said, common sense, human decency. You can do things, and at the same time, if you get dinged on a report, don't always think that we're gonna come through and we're gonna attack you and we're gonna banish you and we're gonna do this. All we ask is, it might not be any one of you guys in particular, but we have a lot of people where we try to deal with a report and we get people who are shitty and they're mean and they cuss and they're not happy and they won't take what we tell them that they did wrong. They have to always seem right. It's just, at the end of the day, we're players just like you, and we're trying to make sure everybody's having fun.
I'm sorry, Pharaoh. I didn't mean to pick on you last night.
I know, you're good, dude.
Oh, if we're
I'll
apologizing.
get you back. I'll Thanos snap you at some point.
Even then, on this server, you admins are so lenient on your punishments. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
100%
think you guys
agree.
have like really issued a ton of perm bans.
Actually,
And, like-
I think per bans altogether wouldn't need.
I highly
Amp, you cut out. What and what?
Perm bans are needed. What?
No, we haven't even done, probably not even 20 or 30 promo bans. It's just, I'm the kind of person that I believe in respect, love, and forgiveness. I believe people, need to learn to forgive one another and not hold grudges. We are playing a video game. It takes a lot to get banned out of the server, and if somebody's been banned out of the server, well, I would not play or get around that kind of person. Because
Challenge accepted.
Who said that?
Hicks.
Permaban.
Hicks killed a full adult Rex as a dibble. Now, how he did it, I don't know. But he,
Hicks?
He cheated. He got damn attacks.
Yeah, listen, Hicks, I'm gonna give you 10 chances. Get on that. I'm gonna get on in a Rex to see if you can kill me.
I mean, you gave me 2 chances, Amp. I was able to do it both times. As an adult Rex.
I'm gonna do challenges.
Amp, I have no idea how you killed those Spinos. They should not have lost.
He went to the source code.
Well, you guys have to remember,
getting a
I
little
played
off
this
topic.
game when a lot of these fights that I've done them in the official servers. This is where I learned how to play, where there weren't rules of this and that, where you had to fight for your life and everything came at you. You learned to turn it certain ways. You learned to attack at certain. That's the only reason why I play different than some people here, and that's why I like alt turn. It's because alt turn's more realistic. The reason why I say that, it doesn't look realistic, but it's more realistic because a raptor's not going to get on the tail of a Rex and keep nibbling at it until it dies. That's what alt turn stops that from happening, letting you be able to stop and slightly start turning around, which causes that dinosaur to run away. Because a raptor shouldn't be able to get on the tail of a Rex and keep biting and biting and biting because you can't turn around to get to him because you don't have alt turn.
Well, actually, they can just bite under their feet and hit them.
See, no, the truth is, Ant-Man's got a big button on his keyboard. It says God mode activate, and he just pushes that.
Damn it, dude! You said you weren't going to tell anybody I had that. Somebody ban his ass.
Hi, Hicks. It was nice knowing you, buddy.
That's right. I'll be over on the server too with my theory.
21
We're gonna get the worst ban in here. I want him banned for 23 seconds.
Hey, Amp.
Next time it'll be 24. Huh?
I'm already probably negatively looked on already from this, but like, I have
You're not negatively
I have
looked
a
on, dude.
huge problem with what you just said because you say we don't want toxic people. Daza, this isn't your type of server. We don't like aggressive people. I mean, honest to God, I think I've broken like only a handful of rules when I was new, and it's not even like a rule break. It's just like, oops, did this. Here you go. I admitted to it. But besides the point, I don't think punishment should be lenient. There's people that even since I've been playing basically come over, fuck over the server, piss everyone off, and then you point your finger at them and go, don't do it again. And then you smack their ass and say, get back at it, Tiger. I'm not. It's not my place to say. It's not my place to say. But I do, and it's not my place to say. You know, you run your server how you want. I 100% fully agree you should be able to do that. But you can't say you don't want toxicity while not willing to punish toxicity, or you don't want rule breakers.
We didn't say we didn't punish toxicity.
I mean, I'm not saying you don't. But you literally just basically admitted that it's almost impossible to get banned. So
okay,
you
first
point
rule
your
break.
finger at them.
First rule break, you get a verbal warning, right?
Yeah, that's
Let's say you're a
reasonable.
full-grown Rex, right? Second time you break a rule. Oh, we just slayed your dinosaur. How pissed you gonna be about that?
Well, yeah, but I broke a rule, so I deserve it. It's really,
exactly.
it's really.
So what do
that
you mean
simple.
we don't? We
But
slay people
I
all the
will be
time, but we try
honest.
to give people chances.
I don't see that a lot. I mean, you
know
can
why
only
we
give
do
people
that?
so many
Because
chances.
admins are
Because
working behind the scenes. Of course,
This
you wouldn't
server
see it.
is not set in stone yet. Once everything's set in complete stone, yeah, we're gonna be a little less lenient with the verbal warnings. We're gonna give, but because our server's still being worked on and we're still trying to be fair to people. I mean, people understand certain things aren't rules. Admins make mistakes, so I'm trying to be super lenient with people.
I mean,
That's why.
I agree, but I mean, there's still, you know, there's a difference between being lenient like in a live tree branch and being a rubber band. You know.
Yeah, well, I love people, and I believe people. I believe people can change attitude, and I've had it happen on this server by giving people chances and pulling them into private meetings and telling them, "Look, you're being a problem, and I don't want to ban you. I enjoy you being here as a person, and you are a human being. You have a life. You have people that love you, and I'm no different than you. We both eat, bleed, and shit the same. So why should I treat you any different? Because I actually care about people, and I want people to understand that they're loved." And just because they make mistakes, they shouldn't just be immediately kicked out of somewhere. I like people to have a place to feel that they can go. Maybe that person's having a bad day. I understand people have bad days, but that's what makes our server different. Just because you get on here and you have a bad day doesn't mean you're going to get banned right away. It just means we may pull you off to the side and say, hey, why'd you break 3 rules today? You know you should be banned 24, a perma ban any other server, the second rule you broke. But instead, we're going to pull you in and treat you like a human being and not just a piece of shit. That's the difference between us and other places.
Let me
tell you
hard
this,
to
Daza.
know what's going on in someone's day or life at that time.
You're right.
Let me tell you this, Daza. As somebody that came over here from Nikta, nobody talked to you. Admins didn't do shit. They saw a report against you. They don't even talk as a player that has reported people on Nikta. They don't even give the decency of talking to the player being reported. They're like, "Oh, you have video proof? Oh, I see they did this. Okay, done."
Hey,
And you get your first warning is a 24-hour ban. Your second warning is a permanent ban, and we don't want to do that because what makes us any
respect
different
that.
from
I
the
mean,
other servers?
You know, overall, as much as I disagree with that, you know, I'll still play on your server. So I mean, you know, who's really the fool here?
Probably me.
Neon sign pointing back
He's
at
been an honest mistake.
But there's a difference between
if
admitting
you,
to
if
a
you
mistake
banned
and
everybody who
committing
made
it.
an honest mistake, I mean, this
Daza?
server would have no people playing.
But
Yeah, we'd all
something
be
tells
gone.
me something tells me Daza's that and it's not to go against you. It's just I have a way of reading. I think you have a testiness to you because you're one of those kind of people to see what you can do to see what you can get away with.
Oh God, no! I follow the rule. I'm gonna be entirely honest. I've barely broken any of your rules, but I see people break them all the time, and then they just get smacked on the. Oh Jesus Christ, God!
You alright, man?
But I mean, don't get me wrong. Like,
Yeah, we're not talking like rules of committing murder, rape, genocide. These are video game rule breaks, man. Come on, what do you want us to do?
I mean, it's like ruin the fun of one to save the fun of many. I'm not saying it necessarily affects me. It's just I see.
You want me to turn my admins into hardcore police officers, or do you want
to? We have rules
I
for
mean,
a
I
reason, I
could-
guess. It's really easy to just follow them, and if you don't, you get punished for it. I think that's a fair thing to say.
I just don't think people should be banned for honest
No.
mistakes.
I'm like, I've made mistakes before, and I went to admins and been like, "Yo, I did this. If you slay me, it's fine." But there's a difference between someone going, "Oh shit, I see what I did wrong." Sorry, I don't know if I probably shouldn't have said whatever. There's a difference between oh, I see what I did wrong. I'm sorry, and just being like, okay, and then doing it again the next day. There is a very huge difference between that. I don't
At the same
test
time,
your
I feel
rules.
like if people are given if the admins have evidence and it's the same person over and over and over, then I feel like they use their discretion.
Again, I'm not saying
People
they
do get
don't.
punished. You may
Yeah,
not
I'm
see what they
saying-
get punished.
Oh,
They
no,
get punished. They get slayed, and they get 24-hour ban.
Oh yeah.
Just because I don't permo ban them.
I'm not saying that you don't punish people. I'm just saying I feel like sometimes it's very soft.
Good. I'm glad you think that way. Because the
Hey,
dog
yeah.
bites harder when you least expect it to. Just remember that.
Exactly.
Hey, I just want to say thank you for the server that you're running because I came from a server that legit made me want to delete the game. And
glad you-
it was
glad you
it was a huge breath of fresh air because those your admins here are all super nice. They all respond super fast. They're all I understand you guys are people. I try to give my thanks all the time to them because they're players too.
You all have to remember, nobody here gets a paycheck. Not even Ant-Man here. I make no money. All the money you guys have donated is sitting in the PayPal waiting to be used for mods, and it pays the server bill. And the server bill is over $200 and some a month. So if you guys think anybody here's pulling a paycheck, that's all I have to say about that. I don't make money, and I do the YouTubing. I mean, we started all this. The worst that I've done with some of your guys' money, if you guys really want to know, because I'm an honest, open person, is I bought in a couple of games for my admins to play with me. Like, for instance, there was a $5 game called, which I played, streaming with people. So I spent, and I bought maybe 5 people the game.
Good game.
And then,
and I didn't even get the Christmas card.
Yep, and I did. I actually bought, out of all the things I've done with the server, I've only spent a total of $60 on myself, and that was because I'm using it for my YouTubing, and I bought Sea of Thieves with some of the money, so that way I can stream Sea of Thieves on my YouTube channel. So it's not like I'm taking the money, doing drugs, and buying hookers, which I don't need a hooker because, Jay comes over to my house every once in a while. All right, Jay. I'm just kidding, brother. Just kidding. But we care about the community so much. I'm not even taking your guys' money. I'm putting it back into the community. So whenever the mods come out, you guys have some pretty badass dinosaurs that are going to be making appearances, or even possibilities that you guys, donors and people that help out, will get to play.
He says this as there's a kilo of Coke sitting on his table with a couple lines.
$100
Hey.
He's using them $100 bills.
You knock it off and quit turning my camera on, dude. How many times have I hackers? I don't know. You guys can think of some stuff. We have suggestion things. We're doing the best we can. Please be patient with us. Some things I had to step in and make some changes. I didn't like the way things are going. I have to appoint some new admins soon, some other new roles. I'm not opening the application thing yet because I made a mistake the last time I opened it and said you guys will have 1 week. Oh my God, you should have seen how many applications there were.
Oh
So-
yeah, there were okay. While we're here, I have a question for the community, real quick. Would you guys rather have 2 suggestion channels, or one channel where you make the suggestion and have people respond underneath your suggestion to avoid confusion, to avoid like loss of subjects, and to avoid, for example,
One
having
channel.
to jump from one channel to the other to make sure you're covering all points when you're trying to discuss something.
So
Yeah, one channel seems better.
Voting. I don't
If you
think
guys
it
just-
does.
we have a
I
thing
think
called server suggestion and one called suggestion discussions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna delete suggestion discussions.
I don't think you should, because I feel like I feel like you create the problem of accidentally flooding the suggestions so you can't see it. I'd rather have to switch back and then risk losing it in a sea of comments.
What I suggest is have somewhere where we can put in suggestions, someone in charge to keep an eye on the suggestion, and respond accordingly. And then when the next meeting comes in, then we can start putting things into plan.
All right. Instead of deleting one channel and keeping another channel for the suggestions, how about we have both channels and you can input your suggestion in the first channel, which is suggestions for the server, and then we have the discussions channel where you can also input your suggestion so people don't get lost, and then people will respond to it.
So
just input your suggestion in both, and then you can discuss them in the discussions
That
channel.
sounds very repetitive because it's just suggestions channel and then suggestions channel. What?
I mean, you guys have to decide on something.
It is
because...
what it is now. I think it's perfectly fine. You have an area
Well,
where people
technically,
post.
they.
It stays
When it comes to
there.
the Discord, unfortunately, this is where I'm going to stop. When it comes to the Discord, community is going to have no. That's our thing. The only thing I'm going to allow the community to be able to do stuff is with the actual gameplay, because the Discord is something we have to monitor. And so I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude, guys. That's too much to do at once. Letting them make decisions in the Discord and in the game. No, that's fine. We'll worry about the Discord. They can help us with some of the server and the rule stuff if they want. That way it doesn't get too hectic. It's just too much. We'll decide amongst ourselves as admins and stuff if we decide that that's too many rooms.
Hey, Antman.
Yeah.
I have a suggestion for your admins. Instead of just having people apply, have them be recommended.
I highly disagree with you.
No.
No.
Just because you're
that-
popular doesn't mean that
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
That's not
That
what I
was
mean
what
by
it
that.
is.
That's not what I mean by that. I mean that if somebody who sees you and they see that how you like your personality and everything else, they say, "I think he would make a good admin," or "I think she would make a good admin." You know what I mean? You have to have some kind of,
But
verification.
I'm pretty sure the admins do that already.
Alright, but I highly disagree with you because, that's a limit. A Herbie player might hate a Carney player, so they will never think a Carney player is going to be a good admin.
Then that person is letting their bias get in the way. And
Exactly,
they
and that would be
their
the problem
opinion
if you
should
allow recommended. That's why you make a Google Doc or something, like a Google form, and then
Just
put
so
it
you
up,
guys
have
don't you
people
guys
fill
want
it
to
out.
know how people have been making red and purples? Is usually the admins say, "Hey, Amp, this person's been very helpful. They play by the rules and they're nice." And then guess what? They get promoted. That's why Kara, who's at the top there, who was a purple mod, got promoted, jumped from purple to blue. And the same thing with Onyx. They literally went from purple or red to blue because they've been busting their ass and helping out a lot. Now, I'm not saying nobody else hasn't.
guys.
It's just those are who we've noticed. Make yourself noticeable. Make yourself show that you care about the server and you want to help the server. That's all you really have to do, honestly, because even if you put in an application and I don't know who you are and everybody goes, "Who the hell is this person?" The odds are you're probably not going to get voted. See, what we do is we have a voting scheme. All admins will come together and we vote on people. And if we don't know who you are, we may pull you into a quick interview and find out what you're about and if you're out for yourself or if you're actually out for the community. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we determine who makes it in the position there.
I'm out for myself.
Just from talking to you guys tonight, a lot of you guys are intelligent, came up with good ideas and stuff, and see that made yourselves noticeable. But just remember too, if you're a troll and you cause a lot of problems, don't ever expect to make an admin in this.
I'm
Discord.
screwed.
Who said they're screwed?
Hicks.
Why is Hicks screwed? He just made purple sitting here.
Because I'm a smart ass.
He has like 8 days on the. He has like 8 days on the server.
I
on the
mean,
game.
I've only been on.
It's a strong 8 days.
I mean, I'm not saying that.
I mean, I know. I literally just bought this game a good 3, maybe 4 weeks ago, and I'm climbing up the ranks.
That's a good
So
example.
if I can do it, I'm pretty sure anyone else can.
You know what I
love
look for
to
here?
work for
Guys, we can put as many mods and admins as we want. The thing is I look for how people respect one another. I look for how people carry themselves in their like basically if you're polite. That's what I want. I don't want somebody that has a bad attitude, because you're not, as a bad attitude person, you're not going to make admin, because I know exactly what you're going to do when somebody breaks the rules. You're going to let the power get to your head, and you're going to treat those people like crap. And that's not what I want to do here.
Oh, shoot!
But to be
Congratulations
fair-
on Purple Hicks.
I will say, I feel like there's two different sides though, because like, don't get me wrong, I'm kind of a dick player because I like to, I like to PvP. Some people don't like
I think
that.
you're just the fucking
but-
troll, is what I
But I don't troll. That's the thing, is I follow your rules down to like literally what
I
they
respect
are.
that, and I respect you as a person. Like I said, I'm busting your chops because that's what you're doing to me.
But to be fair,
You
yeah,
know
I
that's
guess
what
I
you're
am.
doing.
I really am. though.
Exactly.
Not always.
I
Something
do.
I will say. Some points I'm making, but like I feel like there's two
You're
sides.
arguing
because...
about not arguing with him.
Hold on.
called you out.
Yeah, maybe
Oh.
he did, but I'm also calling out the
I'm
fact
just
that.
upset a lot of people are pussies, that's all.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I feel like sometimes that's not a good thing to put it off of, because I play super aggressive, but I mean, I still have a very formal side of me. Like,
I feel like the more of the players that play on this game and more often this server are casual people though. Like not everyone wants to get into hardcore fights, and that's kind of what the server is trying to.
But
That's why we open. That's why we open another one. We just need time to grow.
Yeah.
And once we grow it, then you'll have your hardcore server with hardly any rules, and then you'll have a server that's basic for the laid-back person. That's what
DM me
we're
when it's
working on.
full.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we're trying to do here.
Now, somebody as an older gamer, I'm 42, probably older than most of you here in the room.
Hey now.
I remember I played back when it was dial-up. Okay, that's a long time ago.
So have I, so fuck you.
Grandpa, we don't have to. I'm just.
Hurry it up.
You're
Hicks,
10
how
older,
do you
you're
think
10
I
years
am?
older than me. You're
Hicks
10
the
years
most
older than me,
immediate.
and I remember.
Okay, all I'm trying to say is that there are a lot of younger kids on today than there used to be.
Yes.
And their attitudes are way different than ours as older people. So that it causes a lot of conflicts that we just have to figure out a way to, such as Cartman, that little shit. If I see him, I'm gonna kill him.
Love Cartman. Such a great laugh.
Oh my, I love Cartman.
Yeah, he sounds like a well-rounded guy.
Each and every player has a player or a couple players that they just dislike, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as you treat them within the right rule perspective.
Why do you
And
think
by
this
all means,
country
go
has a
kill 'em.
president?
What do you think you're still here, Nightbot?
I'm
I'm
still
still wondering that.
Well, no, because you have to have some kind of person in office that will do what he thinks best is for a situation. I'm not saying the president now or the presidents we've had do what they. It's an example. The reason why there's a hierarchy in things is because, well, even if a lot of the community is split in half, like the United States is right now, and we're trying to decide on rules, I may have to make decisions that half of you won't like. But at least I know half of the people will back me up on it, because no matter what decision I decide to make, half of you are going to hate me and half of you will love me for it. And you know what? I have to be ready for that. So I just want to let you guys all know now, it's a video game. I love every single one of you, but I have to do what I have to do, and I hope you guys understand that.
I always love you, Am.
So, well, I know you do. You come
Number
in
one
with
fan.
pictures every day.
Why does it feel like you're giving
now.
us a speech like you're gonna put us down in a fucking zombie movie?
Yeah, I'm like feeling like old Yeller getting ready to just be taken out behind the woodshed here.
I want you
what's-
guys all to.
Is that how Old Yeller ended?
He's
I want you guys to all start digging bunkers and buy weapons now. It's happening.
He's about to ban us all. That's what's about to happen. This is just a goodbye party to help our
No.
spirits.
Has it crossed my mind a few times? Yeah, but see, even if I get to the point to where it's too stressful, I don't give up on people that don't deserve it. So if it ever got to the point to where I just couldn't take it no more, which it takes a lot to get rid of me. Trust me, I'm like a roach. But I will then find somebody else that is the same mind-like setness as myself, so the server doesn't change. And then I would kindly tell the community, hey, I'm going to focus on YouTube. I will not leave the Discord, but I'm handing my power and everything over to this person. Respect them and then enjoy yourselves. And I would still monitor it, but that way I can focus more on YouTube like I've been wanting to do. It's just like today I got on to fix a game so I can stream another game for you guys that I used to do, and I've been sitting here since 2 o'clock this afternoon and have not even got up once to go eat any food, or I've been busy with stuff since 2 o'clock this afternoon, and right now it is 9 o'clock at night for me.
Feed
So-
yourself, man.
What's your
discussing
Vimo? I'll
stuff.
give you $10 right now.
So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've been here sitting in this chair for 7 straight hours. So
Amp,
unfortunately,
I'll donate so you can go get a taco.
no.
Everyone donate so Amp can eat.
No, that's okay. Well, I wouldn't even spend it anyways. It would just sit in there waiting for mods. So I want to
Hashtag
make
donation for Amp.
guys. You guys don't understand this. When mods come out and we can have dinosaurs made, we are gonna have the scariest server on the Isle. I'm gonna put some zombified-looking dinosaurs in this server.
If
It's
you
gonna
really
be
want to,
freaking scary.
if you
How
really
do-
want to be scared, go get married. That's scary.
We're not
You know
old
what?
as you, Hicks.
Actually, I think what we'll do is we'll do that. We'll make some dinosaurs and we'll put them up in wedding gear and we'll make Hicks play it.
Oh my
God.
Isle wedding? Question mark.
A real bridezilla.
Psycho and all the bridesmaids.
I mean, technically, wasn't that what happened yesterday? Let's see what happens in a few weeks. They'll all be miserable. Won't be able to stand each other.
But
I do appreciate all you guys coming in here and listening to us, even be repetitive. I know there's a lot of concerns. You guys just got to give us time. We're working on stuff. I know things were good for a minute and then it all changed up. I had to make changes. You guys already heard me spit it out. I'm not going to repeat it. I had to make the changes, and it's almost like we're starting fresh again. Anybody that had issues in the past, we've cleaned it all up. I told admins if you had a problem with certain players, you don't have that problem no more, or you can't be an admin. Everything has to be restarted, refreshed, and we give everybody pretty much a clean bill of, well, you could say health or whatever you want to call it. Clean slate. There you go. Everybody had a clean slate, and like I said, we just want you guys to have fun, dude. I don't want this to be the experience you get in every other server where you go in and you die. Nobody cares about you. You know, you play in their server. You're the ones that populate all these people's servers, and do they give you respect? No. I see. That's why I'm lenient here. I do care about you guys. You guys fill the server up. You give people other people to play with. You know, some of you guys got some pretty cool, interesting stories about your life. I just don't ask, you know, I don't ask Hicks about his because he scares me a bit.
Rightfully so.
If I can be
I'm
honest,
actually
if I can be
gonna
honest,
hop off here.
I got this game about a week ago, and this is the only server I've been on. I've tried the other servers, but this is the only server I love the people here because it's all social friendly.
That's what I try for, man. That's what I strive for so hard when I open this Discord. I'm like, if I do something, it's going to be different. It's going to be a place for people that need to get an escape from everyday life. People that just feel like they're not wanted anywhere, they can come here because the people here care about you. That's what we're trying for. I don't want this just to be about video games. Come on, we're human beings. Games just lock you temporarily out of reality. But you guys have to remember, once you hit that power button, you're right back into it.
Hey, Amp, do us all a favor. Go to the bathroom, get something to eat before you keel over and die. Okay, please.
Why the hell is he getting something
Why
to
would he
eat
go
in
to
the
the
bathroom? Yeah.
I didn't say at the same time, but
Noah can go in one opening and out the other.
You know what? I think I'm going to try
call
what he
that efficiency.
suggested.
It's efficiency.
If I get sick, it's on you.
I didn't say at the same time, damn it.
Just go grab a taco, go in the bathroom, eat it.
I don't even keep them in a cabinet. I just set them right on top of the toilet.
Well, it's up to you guys. Just remember, we're a group of friends here. If you guys want to stay in here and talk amongst yourselves, have fun with that. Admins can stay or go if they want. You guys, you know, discuss stuff. See what you guys come up with. And remember, your friends here, don't yell and be mean with each other, because at least you got a community here that's willing to talk things out with each other. But I'm out of here, guys, because I got to get some food. I might be back on in a little bit, but till then, you all have fun.
Bye.
Yeah, I'm heading over to.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
All right, now that Am's gone, you son of a bitch.
Hello.